Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Saturday morning training. It's bright and early, wonderful here in Seattle. And of course, we're expecting rain. We're into the fall weather. This morning, I'd like to introduce Penny Dunford, who is going to give us a presentation about changing for good. And I know that she's been reading this book, and she's got a lot of information out of it, and she's going to go through and give us some highlights. So, Penny, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, and you're going to be on. Take it away.
Good morning, everybody. Last summer, when I was at National Convention, I wandered around and tried to learn as much as I could, and in this one room, I met Nicholas Fry. And I was talking to him about the challenge that I've had with some of my family members who will go unnamed, but there are several of them. And I said they're just not ready to change, and they really need to lose weight. Quite a bit overweight, and they're no exercise, and I was just really concerned how I could help them myself. And he said, well, from the description that you've given me, those people are in the pre-contemplation stage, and you need to read the book called Changing for Good. So I went to the library, couldn't find it there, because it's really a technical book written by some psychologists, psychoanalysts, and so I ordered it through Amazon, and I absolutely love it. It's a long book, and I'm saying that just so that you know that it's not an overnight read, but it's written very, very easy to understand, and I read this and enjoyed it so much that I decided I wanted to share it with you. This is what's on the cover. It says Changing for Good, that's the title. And the subtitle is The Revolutionary Program That Explains 6 Stages of Change, teaches you how to free yourself from bad habits. James Prochaska is the main author, and he worked with John Norcross and Carlo Di Clemente as graduate students, and then they earned their PhDs also. And so all of their studies were compiled for this book. He came over for more than 12 years. Dr. Prochaska conducted 50 studies of self-changers. And that's the interesting thing to me. These are not people who sought a psychologist to help them change from bad habits, whether they were smoking or drinking or other addictive behaviors. But these are people that actually changed on their own. And so as he studied this, he found that change doesn't depend on luck or willpower, but they occur in 6 predictable stages. And this is really revolutionary to a lot of people. So okay. There we go. I wanted to have, okay, the processes of change. No, I wanted to have this come later. Okay, these are the stages that everyone goes in, and I'd like you to think personally, what stage are you in for different things? Now, probably all of you are in the maintenance or termination stage in terms of the weight loss because we're health coaches, but you might want to think of some other behavior in your life that you want to change. One thing that Dr. Prochaska says is that we all may have 10 or more addictive behaviors that we're working on. Maybe we've conquered some and some others we haven't. So the first stage is pre-contemplation. Now this is actually what's written on the back cover of the book, so I copied it because it gives a good overview of what it's about. For the first one, it said, you might be saying, get off my back. This is what several of my family members feel. Other people may confront them about the need for change, but you may feel angry and helpless. But the good thing for us to remember is that there are constructive ways to encourage change, and one of them is not nagging. And I discovered that the hard way. And because I'm a natural nagger, So this is the one thing that I've learned not to do, and Rick is smiling, he knows that. Okay, the second stage, once you get past the feeling that you want people to stop bugging you, you're in the contemplation stage. You're really thinking about things, and you're thinking to yourself, I want to stop feeling so stuck. You want to change, but you're really not quite ready. So the good thing to know is you can counter your anxiety with excitement and knowledge. So the good thing in this stage is to start learning. And you are ready to start learning. Preparation stage. You might get to the next point here is you're starting to think, well, I'll start tomorrow or soon. You know that change is best, but you're really not sure how to begin. So in this stage, you use this time to develop an effective action plan. Now, the people that fail in Take Shape for Life or in other decisions, other problems that they're trying to change, are those that rush through the first 3 stages or skip stage 4 and or think they can rush into stage 4 without doing stage 1, 2, and 3. And this is very, very important. So in the preparation, you're saying, I'll start tomorrow, and you're working on things, and you're actually planning. So the preparation stage could be anything from getting ready to talk and say, yes, I want to change my diet, change my exercise. I'm interested in Take Shape. Or it could be the time when you've just ordered the kit and you have a week to go, so that you're going to make some definite preparations. When you get the kit, or when you say, I am ready, you're in the action stage. You're saying, here I go. Life is exhilarating and terrifying, and so is change, but you're learning the methods, and you're actually getting the support you need. And the support you need, of course, in Take Shape is from us as coaches, and hopefully from family members. Once you get to the point where you've made your change, and you're in maintenance, and you're moving forward, and you're reaping the rewards of change, and maybe you've reached your optimal weight, and you've lost weight, you look good, and you're exercising, and people are saying, oh, you look wonderful. But as we all know, relapse is common. So the important thing when you're in maintenance is to create a plan for dealing with slips and lapses, and to achieve long-term success. Now, the last stage is one where I don't know how many people actually get to termination stage, but they say you're home free. Maintaining stage is effortless. Some people really get to the point where they have no temptations. They have total confidence that they're not going to slip. Even if you do not totally eliminate temptation, many people don't. They still can achieve lasting change. Okay, I want to go through the process of change here. In every category, in every level of change, there are these processes that are used in different places. Now, the first 2, consciousness raising and social liberation, are used especially in the pre-contemplation and contemplation stage. Consciousness raising is what we do as coaches and with ourselves to uncover our hidden thoughts. We want people to really understand what they're thinking and how they're thinking about food, about exercise, about themselves, how they've gotten to the point where they are now. But then our role is to help them increase their knowledge about themselves and their problems. And so an example might be to learn how your metabolism affects your diet. So if you have people who are not ready to commit to being clients, I think Rick calls it dribble on them. Not dump a lot of knowledge, but just dribble information on Facebook whenever you see them, with your family members. Now, social liberation means you're offering you're finding new alternatives in your external environment to change your efforts and help you advocate for your own rights. an example is you go into a restaurant and you see a low-fat meal, or you see something that you know you can eat, and it's so exciting. Some of my friends said to me, does this mean you never get to eat out? And I say, oh no, I've just learned how to handle it and what foods to choose and what not to choose. Another form of social liberation is realizing you can de-junk your kitchen, and you are liberated from that. And when you go somewhere where it's harder to eat, that is a change. That is difficult. Now, social liberation starts in pre-contemplation and the contemplation stage, and so does consciousness raising. But usually by the time you get to the preparation stage, the third stage, when you're solidly ready, your consciousness raising kind of stops because you've done that already. But you're still looking for ways to liberate yourself in other environments and other ways. And so social liberation actually continues right up until you are in the maintenance stage, because you're still trying to maintain your external environment. Now, in the preparation stage, emotional arousal. That is where you start in the contemplation stage, where you are ready to have a catharsis that helps you become aware of your defenses and what things you have done emotionally to protect yourself from change. And sometimes having a real life tragedy can wake you up, or an event like your 40th birthday, you're thinking, oh, I don't want to continue my lifestyle because it's not healthy. Or even seeing an emotional film, or seeing something on Facebook, reading a story, reading a true life thing on Facebook can really kind of wake you up. Getting the emotions involved is really, really helpful. And emotional arousal is a process of change that's used all the way from contemplation, preparation, and through action. The next one, self-reevaluation. This is so important. This is a thoughtful and insightful and emotional reappraisal of your problem and the kind of person that you might be once you've conquered it. I remember when I guess it was not last December, a year ago December, before I met Rick and heard about Take Shape, I really went through this self-reevaluation, because I looked at myself and I thought, I've gained a lot of weight. I'm not happy with myself. I realized that if I didn't stop now, I was going to regain all the weight I'd lost a long time ago, and I'd already regained half of it. I didn't want to get up to 310 again. And I thought, I really can get slim again. And I evaluated myself honestly. And then I was ready to go into do a commitment thought process. The commitment process works best when you're in the preparation stage, action stage, and all the way through maintenance, because you have to be committed. Now, some people will call this willpower, but it's really, once you choose to change, you accept responsibility for changing. And so it's liberating yourself. You feel great, and you're actually willing to go public and let people know. And it's important that you go public and tell people what you're choosing to do. So the commitment stage, people are not ready to commit when they're still in pre-contemplation, or even when they're contemplating. But when they're in the preparation stage, that's when the real commitment starts. And it continues on to get you through maintenance. Now, countering is something that we do a lot. It's substituting healthy responses for unhealthy ones, such as choosing to exercise instead of eating a piece of candy, or going onto Facebook and instead of staying in the kitchen and being around the unhealthy foods. Countering is an action stage. You're going to be doing it in the action stage when you are on your Take Shape for life eating plan, and also when you're in maintenance. The next one is rewards. This is very, very helpful in the action and the maintenance stage to praise yourself. And you're going to be getting a lot of praise from other people. Buy yourself a present when you meet a goal. You can maybe buy some new clothes. And the last change process is something that we do right now. It's helping relationships, getting support from friends, and your health coach so that you know you're not alone. Okay. Now, the next thing is what stage, oh, come on. I've done this. What stage are you in? So I would like you to think for yourself right now, what stage are you in a certain problem? Don't think of your take shape life. Answer these questions truthfully. I solved my problem more than 6 months ago, or I have taken action in my problem within the past 6 months, or I'm intending to take action in the next month, or number 4, I'm intending to take action in the next 6 months. If a person, whether you or a pre-client, says no to all of these questions, they are in the pre-contemplation stage. They should not be rushed into making any commitment. But if you can say yes to number 4 and no to the others, then you're still in the contemplation stage. You're still thinking about making a change, and you're almost ready. Now, if you said yes to number 3 and 4, then that means you're in the preparation stage. You're actually making plans to change. And it's a very positive change, positive stage. Now, if you can say yes to number 2 and no to number 1, you're in the action stage. Isn't that great? Because you've solved the problem and you know what you're doing and you're moving ahead. But if you say yes to number 1, I don't know if I said the action one. Let me go back. I can't remember what I just said. The action stage is when you yes to no, but yes to 2, no to 1. Then you're in the action stage. But maintenance is when you can say yes to number 1. So how many of you feel like you're in the maintenance stage with your body, with your eating plan and your diet and your exercise? Very good. This is important. Okay, so this is what we need to evaluate. And the important thing Dr. Prochaska mentions is do not rush anyone through anything. Going in detail, pre-contemplation stage. It isn't that they can't see the problem, it's that they can't see the solution. It's that they can't see the problem. A famous author said that. Somebody is saying, how can I get others to quit nagging me? With great and constant external pressure, these people may change, but once the pressure is removed, they quickly return to their old ways. This is what my husband did, and it really saddened me. Okay, and Rick is laughing, yes. Now, a person in pre-contemplation stage is resisting change. They're in denial. They're demoralized. They feel hopeless. They may change, but the positive thing is they can change if they have the proper tools. One of the proper tools is information. Next, 2. Boy, it's hard getting this. Contemplation. I want to stop feeling so stuck. So here a person wants to change. They acknowledge that, yes, there's a problem, and they begin to think seriously about solving it sometime in the next 6 months or years. Some people stay in this stage and never progress, but they're really far from making a commitment to change or to action. They have a great fear of failure that causes them to some people keep searching for the best solution, and some people stay in contemplation forever. Chronic contemplators eternally substitute thinking for action. Now, preparation. They're in the preparation stage when they are planning to take action within the next month, and they're making final adjustments before they begin to change. These are the people who are ready for us. To become clients. They're making the intended change public. They're saying, yep, I want to change. Sometimes you will find one of your friends saying something on Facebook about this, and then you'll know, this person is ready for me to talk to them about Take Shape, or get a commitment, even if you've already talked to them before. But they may still be ambivalent, as they need to convince themselves that taking action is the best thing for them. Awareness and anticipation are high as they start making little small behavioral changes. But if you see these little small ones, don't think, they're making the big change. No, they're just getting ready. So these people, if you're in the preparation stage, you need to plan carefully, develop a firm, detailed scheme of action, and know the change processes you'll do. This is where we can come in as health coaches to help them make the detailed changes. And this is where I think we can do a lot of help in the first week before the kit comes. Stage 4, action stage. People openly modify their behavior and surroundings. As the most busy period, it requires the greatest commitment of time and energy. But action doesn't always mean lasting change. And that's the problem. The previous stages prepared people for successful change, and they need to make great efforts to maintain changes after action. The change can be any modified behavior. Maybe they're not going to McDonald's anymore, or they're stopping the sweets even though they may be still struggling with eating too much bread. So they've changed the behavior a little bit, but they're still working on better changes. They have a greater awareness. Now, awareness to me means they still need to be open to, or they're still open to learning more information about exercise, about eating healthy. That's why they need to continue to read in the Habits of Health book. They may have a change of emotions. Maybe they have a more positive feeling about themselves. And any positive change is wonderful. A change in their self-image is positive. If they can stop thinking themselves as fat, and they see the small changes as they go along, as they're progressing through Take Shape, that is a positive, wonderful change. And a change in their thinking. Instead of thinking, oh, I can't do it, they're thinking, I can do it. I've seen this in, is it George? On Take Shape, on your client, Rick, who has greatly changed and modified so many things in his progress. He's lost 120 or more pounds. Movement from one stage to another is still progress. Now, the one thing that I learned that is very interesting is that all of these stages of change are like a spiral. They start at the bottom and they spiral around and round and round. But a person could get to the action stage and they can have a relapse, even though they're not to maintenance yet, and they can slide back down. They can slide back to the pre-contemplation stage if they feel like it's too tough. And so you're not ever in one stage and stuck there and you say, yay, they've made it, they're a client. But if you wonder why people sometimes quit being clients, they may get tired of the food, like one of my clients, and she was treating our MediFast foods like a diet, and she wasn't reading enough. She didn't want to communicate, and she just was tired of the food, she said, so she was wanting to change. And so she stopped the program for a while, which was sad. She didn't meet her goal. So the next change, maintenance. This is the next level of change. When they get to maintenance, we are working to consolidate the benefits of the previous stages, and we struggle to prevent lapses and relapses. This is an important stage. It can last between 6 months to a lifetime. And if we continue to maintain, but we help ourselves, if we have a relapse and we get right back on healthy eating, that is wonderful. But we need a strong commitment to maintain, or else we sink back to pre-contemplation or contemplation stage. Many easy change programs, like some of the ones we hear about, Nutrisystems or some of these other plans, often ignore the importance of maintenance, and that is a problem. And that is why a lot of people don't reach the last stage. Whoops, termination. This is our ultimate goal for all changers. And this was enlightening to me because it says you get to the point where your former addiction or problem is no longer a temptation or a threat. So when I read this, I thought, no, I'm not in the termination stage yet, because I'm sometimes I catch myself and I go back on the plan and go back on the 5 and 1 because I have a little more to lose. I'm not to the point where I know I will never regress. Your previous behavior will never return. You have full confidence you can cope without fear of relapse. And even without any continuing effort, you have exited the cycle of change and you've won your struggle. Okay, what questions do you have for me? And I'd love some feedback, where you think you are or where some of your clients are. And how do you think you can use these levels of change in your own practice?
Well, first off, Penny, that is quite a PowerPoint. And I think you gave us a great synopsis of the book. I went through and made some notes while you were talking, and I was looking at this, and stages 1, 2, and 3, as well as 4, are all about finding the why.
Yeah.
And, I can see how this would be very, very important. It's just packed full of knowledge to where you could identify some of those questions and help the pre-client up to, getting to the action stage where they're ready to commit. And then as well as recognizing some of the behaviors and thought process of your client to help them get to the termination stage. So all of these things are very important, and I think it was a great recommendation for Nick Fry to give you. And I really appreciate the fact that you have gone through and gotten all of this information down. So at this time, yes, is there anybody that would like to ask a question? And Penny, you might want to stop your share screen at this time.
Okay.
And I think Rita was, did you have a question, Rita? Or did you have a comment?
No, you did great, Penny. And, it's nice to hear the reinforcements from a different angle because we all learn differently. And so that reinforcement just reinforces the journey that we're on and the patience that we need to have with ourselves and others too. So you did a great job. Thank you, Penny.
Well, I learned a lot. And I kept thinking, yes, this is what we're doing. This is what Dr. A says to do. But it's really neat to hear it from Prochaska's viewpoint, and also the fact that it's very scientific what we're doing. And I think sometimes if we try to rush someone from a pre-contemplation stage or either the contemplation stage before they're ready, they're not going to become a good client. They're going to drop out quickly. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Okay, well, nobody else is raising their hands that I can see here. If you could make that PowerPoint available to me, I'll get it posted on Coach to Health as well. I think it's
great.
a lot of great information, and it summarizes that book very, very well. And I think if we all look at that again, I'm going to have to go back through because there's a lot of information here. I'm going to go back through and look at the recording today because as I was making notes, I ran out of paper. So thank you so much for your PowerPoint this morning. We're already at 7:31, guys, and hopefully you've gotten some of this information. Penny, I can see just in you how much you've grown. And thank you so much.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, we're going to call it good. Thanks for your participation this morning, and hopefully everybody has a great weekend. Thanks again, Penny.
Thanks.
Bye now.
Bye.